Hello everybody, welcome back to Motion RC Live, and I stumbled there. I'm James, alongside Alex behind the camera, and today, if you've been on Motion RC's website, we got a new plane addition in the Skynetic lineup. It is the Cardinal. Now, this one is not necessarily new. It was an older plane, now brought back into our Skynetic lineup with a new scheme and obviously some updated electronics and such. But we have the Skynetic Cardinal, which is a 1400 millimeter motor glider, power glider, if you will. Nice beginner option that is available in both ready to run or ready to fly and plug and play. And I believe inside here, we've got the plug and play options, the plug and play version, if you will. So the goal today, unbox it, show it off, assemble it, and then finally, weather's starting to look better at least. Maybe not today so much, but overall, our weather here in Georgia has been getting a little better. So we hopefully be able to get this out tomorrow and have that flight video up for you, hopefully by Thursday or Friday. By the end of this week, we should have the flight video ready to go. I doubt it's going to take that long for me to, get this going. And the beauty of something like this, I can just run out to a local park or field that's empty and, glide it around out there, which is awesome. Want to say hello to everybody. Thomas, Victor. Oh, raining over there. Yeah, I was just talking to my manager, Bill's, over on the West Coast, and he was saying it's been raining like crazy out there. So I guess that's a good thing, though, right, in the West Coast for a long while. I guess droughts aren't anything to worry about at this point with the amount of rain you guys have been getting, so that's awesome. Chris, what's going on, man? Up in Syracuse, 10 degrees. I don't miss that. Alex and I are both originally from Long Island, New York, so now we're down here in Georgia, and when it's 35 outside now, I feel cold. When I used to 10 degrees would have been fine, but now I've become, that's way too cold for me anymore. I am not used to it anymore. What's up, Wild Bill? What's going on? Tunny, how are you? And let's get into our box. So again, inside here, let's pull out our Skynetic Cardinal. And obviously you see on the website when we get these new in, we get the, the simple white pictures against a white background, and it's a white plane. So part of the reason I'm getting these, we got to update those pictures. We want to, get it out in a blue sky, or at least in front of some greenery or something to update those pictures, because while the white pictures are nice, they don't really give you a good representation of, of any model. So we want to get those, we like to get those pictures updated as fast as possible whenever we get the factory pictures, if you will. So open up, we got our regular regular cardboard box inside of a regular cardboard box. Let's get that out of the way. And here we are, nice and simple. Got a couple pieces of tape. Let's take a peek. And let's do it. What's up, Brian Chambers, going on? Raining in the UK. Isn't it always raining? Isn't that just like the status quo in the UK, is for it to be raining? All right, open it up, take a look inside. Everything wrapped in bubble wrap. Not that I'd, expect to see any, dinks or dents or anything. Looks like it was sent to me nicely and neatly. We got our elevator section. No decals on that side. And we got our first wing. Let's unbox that. And here we go. Go. A little Skynetic on the side. Going with the orange, yellow. I see a little hot pink in there, and red with the black, and then a little black underneath. But obviously plenty of space for anybody who wants to add another, if you want to add some brighter colors underneath, if you have trouble with orientation and stuff. So DL, me? Does the missus know I have a new plane? she sees all these boxes come, and luckily they're not technically mine, so it's not really her concern. And then we got our second wing. Well, I see the option for flaps, and I see the option on the wing the foam has already been, I guess, CNC'd, if you will. You can rip that out and add a servo, add flaps if you wish. So it doesn't come with flaps out of the box, but the options are there. And obviously in here you can, so this is connected, but you would just make 2 razor cuts on the flap sides themselves. And then you've got your foam, your foam hinge is already there, and you have a place to add your control horns already, which is nice. So if you wanted to add flaps and further upgrade, this model. So if you're somebody starting out, it's always great to start out with a simple, 3-channel aircraft where you just basically, or 4 channels, you're going to get a rudder, you're going to get an elevator, you're going to get ailerons. But then when you want to make that, addition to something with flaps, then you can add it. So that's nice. And then what's left? We've got, there we go. We've got our vertical fin, our vertical stab, and I see, all right, Skynetic written. Now this already has the control horn. I see, yeah, this already has the servos are connected on the aileron. So this already has, we're just gonna have to connect the control rods. But now I do see in this, and just to make sure I didn't lose it, but look in these, I do see a little grub screw in there. So I'm not sure where that, I'm assuming, there it is. All right, so it backed itself out of the horn. So just, look around for that in case you lose it. We'll get that back in there as soon as I can. So that's just to hold your control rod. Always check in case that happens. And then obviously we can add, once you have it set up, you could always add a little Loctite or something to get it in there. Flaps definitely the most that way, so you can add some crow. There you go. For sure. All right, in our baggie, this looks like the included, well, not really electronics. We got a Y lead that's going to be for our ailerons, I presume. We got this little piece is what helps hold the landing gear, because it does, I believe, it has, or it did. I don't think this version has the landing gear actually. I think they are an accessory option if you want them. So that'll go in just to fill the hole, if you will, if there's no gear in there. You've got Velcro and the Y lead. We've got a propeller with some prop adapters to make sure it fits the shaft. And then we got our rubber bands, which I actually like. This first time they're actually black rubber bands rather than that, that like yellow that looks like old, like yellowish feel to it. So, these look like a little better. And I don't know, those rubber, the ones that are the other kind, with kind of the ones that sometimes, like if you don't touch them after a while, they just lose their elasticity and sort of just deteriorate over time. Not that it's a big deal. Rubber bands are easy to get over time. And then we got a canopy. This looks like a secondary canopy because I'm looking at the fuselage in here. This looks like an additional canopy if you wanted to add FPV on the plane. So you have some flat spots on here to add a camera and a receiver, receiver on there if you wanted to do that. And then we got our fuselage, which has the carbon boom, which is cool. Let me make sure. Hold on. Just got to rip this open. There we go. I'll pull it out this way. I'm forgetting just off the top of my head the old name that this plane had at some point back in the day. If somebody remembers, they could let me know. But some of the coolest bits of it, again, we've got, the control rods already pre-installed, which is nice. This is carbon fiber boom. Nice plastic piece molded like into the foam for the whole mount, so that gives it rigidity and support from the boom up to our motor pre-installed. You might have to pull up the website at some point, Alex, just to check the stats on it. And then here's our black canopy. This is our normal canopy that you can replace with an FPV, which is nice. So if you wanted to make this an FPV model, you can go that, guys. I know the PV, like a glider, if you're looking to get into that. But taking a look inside, looks like plenty of space for what I assume will be a 2200 3S. And then the nose itself is rubber, so that helps for somebody who, you know, again, you're getting into flying, accidents are going to happen. So, you know, having a rubber nose will be, you know, good if you nose dive it. That's going to give you a little bit of protection, you know, just a little bit. Obviously, if you're going too fast, then, you know, good luck. None of that's going to help you. But again, it's a glider. You shouldn't be going too fast in this, you know. Rotation. And then lastly, so we have our canopy, and the only other things in the box. Interesting. So this is so easy. So we're gonna have to make an assembly video out. This is the assembly video because I don't have a manual, unless the manual is just online, which it might be. You know, welcome to the digital age. Sometimes you don't get the paper manual. You might have to go to your computer and print it through our website. But if you want to bring up the, if you can bring up the website, then that would be great. And then the last baggie I had in front of me was just the our rods that's going to hold our spar for our wings, and it looks like our spar, this is going to be our spar for either the elevator, yeah, probably going to be on the backside, because they already have the two spars through where the rubber bands will attach. That's going to help, you know, secure the wing down, because it's one of those types where it goes through. So we got the, you want to bring the website up, we can run through the specs. I'll lay everything out here, and then we'll get started assembling it. And maybe you could find, maybe the instructions on there. You got to go to, oh, you got to show it, all right. Bear with Alex a second, he's going to get that up for you. And I'm going to lay everything out. So obviously, first things first, though, we can get our wings connected. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to open up, get our Y lead that's included. Again, you want to Y these together. Zoom, so white to white, black to black. Boop. And nice. Oh wait, am I gonna have to, I think I gotta put this in first and then connect them. There it is. And it has a little nub in the middle, so it'll automatically center itself, which is nice. Sometimes, you know, spars don't do that. So you might got too much spar on one side of the wing versus the other. That can happen, but just slowly fit it in, slide it together, and there are some pre-molded grooves that your wings can come through. Your wiring, I should say, rather, can slot through. And there we go. So like that. Now this can, you know, this will be able to move a bit either way, but once you know, obviously you're rubber banding that down, but that's pretty solid wingspan for a nice glider, which will be easy to, you know, take out, take apart for transport if you can't fit the whole thing in your car in one shot, which is great. So are we on the website? Now let's run through. So scroll down if you can. We'll go to, let's see the spec. What are they saying we got on the motor? So we got 3S22 is what we want. Easy connect wings for sure. Skynetic Cardinal, I can't read it. I have to see the big screen, Alex. There we go. All right, scroll up a little bit. Features, we know it's EPO, so they're saying 2208 1550 outrunner motor. That's what's in here. Rubber nose we spoke about. Cooling holes provided for adequate airflow. Okay. That's nice. I'm trying to remember based on the old one, which, you know what? I think this little spar is actually for the wing. So I think if I'm I think this might go in here like this, just to keep those wings from moving. That makes sense. So if you're looking, they do give you this little piece of carbon spar, and there are some molded holes right here. And I think that actually is where that belongs, because then that will keep it. Yeah, that makes more sense. So that keeps it from ever moving back and forth. Much smarter. So I apologize for that. But there's not much here, so it's a pretty simple assembly. So we're going to drop our wing. I'm going to drop our wing in. Oh, did you check the tab with the, go to the specs or support tab at the top? Up. There it is. Boom. There it is. So the manual is online. Yes. So it's online manual only. And you just got to print it out. But that'll help us. But I think we can figure it out. We got enough brains in the chat to get through it. And then you'll see, yes, the ready to fly model, the transmitter and such will be included in there. I'd be interested to see if somebody does get the ready to fly manual. Send me a picture. I'd love to see. Just based on this box, is the box going to be different for? I wonder if the box is a little bigger, because I guess you might be able to fit a transmitter in there. But just looking, I mean, you saw me open that box. Everything kind of was in there pretty tight. So I don't know where they'd fit the transmitter, if you will. But main wing will go on as such. We put our rubber bands across, but I don't want to actually do that yet. Let's get the tail assembled. And what I see with the tail, which I like, is it's all thumb screws. So it's just, hand tighten. So really no screws needed other than a like a multi-tool, an Allen key to tighten the control rod grub screws. And I don't want to lose that one. That one's still there. I'm going to have to grab that when I got it. Let's just spin these off for a sec. Don't you dare fall on the floor. And then we got this. So this is, I assume, is going to, yep, that fits perfectly that way. And it's molded. So like right now, obviously it's not locked down, but like once it finds its position, it's locked in. So it's not really going to go anywhere. And then this one's going to go through. Let's get that down and through. Perfect. Now that's pretty rigid on there already, which is nice. And then we'll go get these started. If you got fat fingers like me, it's are you on? Yeah, you're on it, Allie. I'll turn it towards you. Can you just show the chat? I want to see if people are yelling at me for anything. I haven't seen the chat in a couple seconds. There we go. Is there any cladding on the bottom of the fuselage? You mean like protective stuff? No. Right now that's bare foam on there. But again, you'd have, they sell the landing gear separately if you were going to add landing gear to protect that. But if not, you could spray something on it, find a way to protect it there. But, I presume it's, but no protection there. But again, it's not like, now obviously you'd love to have it, but again, with something like this, I can't imagine you coming in too fast and too hard to, to go. Yeah, use packing tape, like Brian Chambers said. Put a piece of clear tape across the bottom. That would work, if you wanted to. But again, you put your landing gear through this spot, and this would, hold it in. So you can keep this in here to, if you even, like I could just leave that in there for the time being. Not that you'd want to, but I guess you can. That might give you actually a little something to hang on. But, with a glider like this, I don't imagine I'm going to do too much damage to the bottom of it when I'm coming in, but you never know. You know, always better safe than sorry if you can. So that's tight there. Let me just get this grub screw back on, and then we got to put our control horns through, and then we'll get our prop on and our rubber bands. So let's use the Frenchcraft. Let's see which one. Let's see which grub screw, which size it is. Yep, it's that one. There we go. We got our grub screw, and it's on this side. It's funny, as simple as this is. It's been a while, which I'm totally cool with, but it'll be nice to get out and just fly a little bit. I haven't really done it in a while, so I know. All right, grub screw right on top. So let's get that. I'm gonna tighten it down, even though, you know, obviously I'll loosen it up and recenter once I get the receiver in there. But I'm gonna do that another time. I don't want to spend too much time there with that. So I could have slid the control rod through. Loosen the grub screw. The grub screw was already in this one, which is good. It hadn't fallen out. Getting our elevator servo in. You can easily see both servos through the canopy as well, which is nice. And there we go. I don't know if you can see. I'm on this side. It's hard to see. A little tough to see sometimes. What's up, Thomas? How you doing, man? Boom. And perfect. And obviously the Ready to Run version 2 is going to come with a 2200 3F. I presume it'll be an Admiral. And then let's get our prop on. Now remember, with the pusher, if you will, the prop's got to go, in essence, backwards. Normally you're putting a prop on a motor shaft this way because the motor's facing forward, but since this motor's facing backwards, you're putting the prop goes on forward on the back side. And then let's see if we need any of these adapters. I want to take there we go, take that off. Let's see what we're looking at. Yep, we can get away with that one. That'll just help keep it more tight. So always try to use these if you, if they got them, try to fit them on, because that'll just make sure your prop is more snug. So I'll put that on first, then we'll put, I gotta put that on last, sorry. That's gotta go, because this fits in the back of the prop. And just a way to change the hole. There we go, that goes on there. Get that on there. I'm just gonna hand tighten it for now until we get it started, and then let's get it finished. Is that perfect size without? Oh no, it's not. I thought it was the right size of just your standard, but it's not. So let's grab one of these. Which one are we looking at? Nope. There we go. So what is that? That'll do it. We're at 8mm. So what does everybody got going on? Anyone fly this weekend? Any events anybody go to? Wesley down there did 3 weekends straight of events, from Florida E-Jets to did like a World War I one 3 weeks ago, and then last week was something with I believe one of the Cletus guys. I know events are going to be picking up now that we're getting into March and such. So what do you guys got going on out there? All right, prop is installed. Our elevator and vertical stabilizer installed. Not hard at all. I didn't even look at the manual. Not that That makes me so awesome. I was able to put it together without the manual. You know, it's a pretty simple, pretty simple design, but efficient, effective. So then we get that plugged in. There's plenty of space for the receiver. Like, I like that there's a little shelf, you know, my receiver, because just based on, this is the length I have for the aileron. This is what I have for, obviously, my elevator and my rudder servos are down in here. So I have a nice shelf where I can put, you know, my receiver. It's a good shelf. I mean, like, again, some guys might want to put a gyro on this. You can easily place that in there on the wooden shelf, which will be nice. And then you have plenty of space. Let me get a 2200 3S. Let me grab one. Is that a 22? I think that's a 22. Yep. So let's see how that fits in here. Should fit in there nice and neat. And one thing that's good about something like this too, you know, when you have these models that are 2200 3S, like, for the most part, the battery can only fit one way, so there's really not much even need to do as far as like CG. It usually always just works. I've rarely found one of these where the battery just fits in the canopy, that it's made wrong and you have to add or lose weight or something. Like, that just doesn't happen, which is nice. But obviously not to say you can't adjust the CG for different flight performance. I am by no means a glider expert. So for guys who want to, you know, get the most out of their gliding, they'll know better. But the battery fits, all right, will fit in the vertical manner. And bang, I don't have it plugged in. Again, it's also XC60 attached to the ESC. So easy enough. But then if that was all plugged in, just want to make sure that fits nicely. Boom. And yeah, it'll hide in there. And now let's get the rubber bands on for the last bit. They give you a lot of rubber bands, which is nice. I mean, I don't know why you would need this many, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 8. We get 8 rubber bands, whereas we should only need 2. Whoa. Whoa. And one thing I noticed on previous models too, if you guys ever had models like this in the past, nothing was worse than when, like, some of them used to just have foam between the rubber bands, and it basically just, the rubber bands would just squish on the foam, and there was nothing you could really do other than put like a piece. Some then started offering like a piece of wood that you would glue here just at the points where the rubber band touches. This whole part is hard plastic, this whole black sleeve, and they actually have nice little molded pieces in the front where the rubber band won't slip, which is one of those other things that, you know, probably doesn't happen too often, but happen enough to enough people where, you know, someone at some point molded it. But that's all you need. Those are really tight rubber bands. Like, they are made to just fit, but like, that ain't going anywhere now. I mean, obviously if I wanted to struggle to lift that up, but I have no fear that that's not gonna, you know, hold for the duration of the type of flying that we're gonna do with this model. But all around, pretty darn cool. Now, I will see a little bit of yellowing around the nose where the epoxy is. So, you know, if you're a stickler, you might not like that, but it actually does match the yellow in the canopy. But that's okay. Again, I like having that nose there. I love that it is epoxy down. So if you wanted to go around it with a little white paint or something, but it's not like this is some scale model where we're trying to, you know, represent. This is a solid flyer that's on the cheaper side that you can just have fun with and roll with. You know, this is a good one. This is the type of model that, yeah, again, I can imagine with the FPV would be great. You know, they give you the FPV canopy, so this is 100% the type of model where if you like sitting in a lawn chair flying your RC plane, get the FPV on, sit down, and you'll probably get some good flight times on it as well. But we'll test that. I want to get out. Today is not the day. It is cloudy and gross outside today. But hopefully tomorrow is going to be beautiful and we can take this out. Maybe we'll go over to the beach, Alex. Send it out over the water. But then again, so options include there is a landing gear that you can get. And I believe it does have a tail wheel as well, which would probably, my assumption is it'll be molded and fit within the grub screws, because there's a lot of extra slack on the screws from the vertical stabs. Yeah, go to the spare parts. I saw them in the spare parts. I believe. Keep scrolling down. Oh, there they are. Yeah, you got the tail wheel. So click on that landing gear kit. Let's see that. They can't see this, can they?
I can bring it up.
Oh, yeah, bring it up to them. Sorry. We're going to show you the website quick if you guys aren't already on it. Here you go. So you got the landing gear set, and there you go. It gives you the 2 grub screws. It gives you 2 extra grub screws, so that are going to fit, well, grub screws. What am I? Thumb screws. And you can see how that tail wheel is molded, so the wire, if you will. So it bends around here. I'm not even sure if you would need those extra 2. Yeah, I don't think you'd put the extra 2 on the tail wheel. You'll just use the ones that already came with it, and you'll have those as extras. And then the main landing gear. So if you wanted to go, But again, I always look at a type of model where, again, this is a good beginner model right off the bat if you do grab some landing gear. Because you could work on, just landing on landing gear isn't always the easiest thing. And then we also carry a flap kit. So let's show that too. So they actually have a kit itself. Perfect. So an extra spare part is a flap kit where you get the control horns, you get the screws, you get the rods, you get the 2 servos. And I like, if you notice, the servos, one reversed and one forward, which is nice. Because if you Y those together, because you're going to use the Y lead, ailerons you want working opposite. But flaps, when you Y them together, you don't want them working opposite. You want them working in unison. So whenever you see a servo, at least for Motion RC, I think it's pretty standard, but a servo will work one direction with the brown, red, and yellow wires, and then the wires that are usually white, I believe, the white, black, and red ones will be reversed. So when you put a Y lead, you have a reverse servo and a regular servo, they'll work together. Whereas in the ailerons, if you use the same servo when you Y them, they'll work opposite which is what you want. Obviously, make a left turn or a right turn. One goes up, one goes down in that sense. So you see, you got the whole kit for 20 bucks to add the flaps. So you get 2 servos and all the, stuff you would need. Or, just add any standard servos you want. You can make it happen probably with spare parts. I know a lot of you guys probably have a ton of spare parts drawers. I know I do. So that's awesome. But you got the upgrade there for you. Again, you got the landing gear, but to keep the price down, no need to include them because the main way to fly this plane is without landing gear. I don't think a plane like this needs landing gear. It's it's an easy tosser. Plenty of nice weight here. Nice molded parts. Like, it's not a plane that's gonna, sometimes when you hit some planes you get to hand launch, there's very little spot to really hold and you're nervous about maybe having a prop hit you, but that's not gonna happen on a model like this. And overall, very nice upgrade. I can't remember, did somebody write it in there? Did anyone remember what this plane used to be called? When it used to be, because I believe we have a lot of the old Tech 1 planes we used to carry. I believe this was one of those that now got its updated, brought back to life under our Skynetic to keep it alive. But I forget what they called it at that point. I don't remember what it was called. Are you trying to look through to see?
Yeah.
It's not going to be on I don't think it'll be on there. If it is, it's hidden probably. I think every product we probably ever sold is still, the pages still exist somewhere, but they just get, hidden and gone away. But I'll have to check it out. Because I don't remember it being called a Cardinal. I feel like I would have remembered Cardinal, I forget what it was called. But what are you going to do? We can't find it. We can't find it. Either way, it doesn't matter here she is now, looking good. Simple assembly. And again, if you're watching this now, you know, I guess we could take it apart and make an assembly video, but you know, the manual is in the is on the website, so you could always download it and, you know, go through it. But as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. The only part that might confuse you is that little spar that we saw, that there were 2 holes in the wing here, so there's double spar in the wing, and that's just to keep the rigidity in there. Bowling around, I dig it. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna put in my Futaba 2000. I got 6 channel, but again, we only need 4 channels: throttle, aileron, elevator, and rudder. And then you'd have the option, obviously, a 5th channel if you wanted to go with the flaps. And we'll run it on the trusty 10J. That's what I have here, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll bind that up at another time. So anybody have any other questions? Dragonfly, you know, Mike, but the Dragonfly is the water-plane we got. It's called the Dragonfly, which resembles, I believe, like the Skipper or whatever. That's our Dragonfly. We had it in orange and now it's in white. But it might have been called, maybe this was called the Dragonfly. I don't know. I always like to see that, you know, it's good, but what I always like to, there are a lot of those models that did come back. Like, you know, a lot of them are really good models that are just timeless. You know, I mean, the design of a plane like this is just timeless in RC, you know. There's a lot of planes like this, and, you know, pushers have their place. There's so many different styles and stuff, so it's a matter of what you prefer. But I like the options they gave on this. Like, I love that rubber. You know, you can really, you'd have to really smash that hard. Like, obviously it'll crunch if you do, but, you know, that just gives you, you know, some nice protection. I think that's pretty good. But again, that might be counter to making this, like, you know, this isn't going to be a glider you're winning gliding competitions with or anything like that. I'm sure something like that would, you know, add to the weight, and you don't want that. But all around for a fun, you know, a fun option that, again, isn't too expensive, readily available spare parts, optional upgrades to keep it going. You can make the model, you know, the model can, you can grow with it, if you will. So if it's your first plane, you start as this, and you say, you know what, let's try the landing gear. Grab the landing gear. Then you work on landing gear. Then you move, all right, let's try flaps, because these things, for seasoned veterans and pilots, we're just used to them. We just do it. Like, but when you're first starting out, finding that thinking about the flap switch while you're flying sometimes isn't as easy as, you know, as it is until it just happens. You know, I always equate it to like learning an instrument. You're thinking about the chords you're playing on a guitar until one day you stop thinking and your fingers just do without thinking, and that's when you know, that's when you see it, you know, start working well. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for us here today with the Skynetic Cardinal. If you saw the email, I believe it was in the email. Might have been in the email on Friday, actually. I think it came in on Friday. I only received it yesterday, so wanted to go live just to see it for myself, share it with you guys. Overall, super cool model. I like the graphics on it. I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm expecting a nice, gentle flyer. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be doing too many aerobatics. It'll probably roll, but very slowly. I doubt I want to dive this thing with you know, full speed and try to pull elevator, because it's not a you know, it's not a hot liner or even a warm liner. That would probably flex my wings and my ailerons too much. This is a nice glider, learn orientation, have fun flyer, and you know, a good warm-up model for a veteran, if you will. Sometimes you just need to fly a model to warm your fingers up before you start getting to your other models. But if you have any other questions, guys, leave them down below this video. If you're watching this on a replay, obviously we can't answer you live, so I'll try to answer you in the comments down there. But stay tuned, because we'll have the flight video up as soon as the weather looks good. We can easily run out, get this thing up, and you know, get that flying video to you guys as soon as possible. So Mike Bird, thanks so much for watching. Anthony, thanks for joining. Brian Chambers, waiting for the tax check to come in so we buy some new birds. That's it. That's it. Oh, I got to do that now. You reminded me. Ugh. Ugh. That's terrible. It's like the worst. It's probably the worst adulting thing that you ever do is taxes. It's like so boring. But what are you going to do? Mike Bird, thank you so much. Guys, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time at Motion RC. Bye, guys.